Hey, Algebra 1 people. So I want to go over the quiz that you just took, 3.4, 3.5 quiz. This is the one that you took in a Google form. There was actually one mistake in the Google form, but I'll get there in a second. It wasn't on number 1 or 2. So number 1 and 2, you were just supposed to find the slope of the line. So for that, you needed to count rise over run. So like if we look at number 1, my rise in this case is 2. I wrote 0. 2, I'm getting ahead of myself. Or negative 2, depending on if you went up or down. It really didn't matter because the run is 0. And 2 divided by 0, you should have said undefined. That was the answer for number 1. Now number 2, slightly different. I didn't give you any points. Like number 1, I didn't give you any dots. So you had to make some yourself. Luckily, there were a ton. So let's see, here. There were 5 different really nice points. You picked 2 of them. So let's pick these bottom 2 just for fun. If I go from this left point to this right point, it looks like I go down 1. And I go to the right 2. So my slope was negative 1/2. And that would have been the multiple choice option you would have picked. All right, so number 3 is actually where I made a mistake. When I originally put it in, I think I put in 6,14 instead of 16,4. So if you were like one of the first half of the people who took the quiz, there actually was not the correct answer on here. So because of that, I'm actually going to give everybody the 5 points for this question. So even if you got it wrong, I'm going to give you credit for it, but I wanted to show you how to do it. So x1, y1, x2, y2, you would have taken those numbers and punched them into this y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 formula. And don't forget, here's where I recommend, write your parentheses ahead of time, and then you punch stuff in. So y2 is 4, y1 is 20, x2 is 16, and x1 is 2. 4 minus 20 is negative 16, and 16 minus 2 is 14. And then you should not leave it there. I think if you're one of the people who got the correct question, one of the options was positive 16 over 14, but that's wrong because it's a negative. But you also should have reduced this. Divide top and bottom by 2, and you would have gotten negative 8 over 7, which was the correct answer if you had the correct question. Okay, number 4. This one was pretty straightforward. It said find the slope. All you had to do was tell me the slope is negative 2/3. Slope is always right here when we're talking about y equals mx plus b. So that's it. The answer is negative 2/3. Now 5, and this one actually has the choices on here, but write the slope intercept form. So for number 5, I needed 2 things. I needed the y-intercept, which in this case is 4. It's where it touches the y-axis. If I went down to my choices, and I think these were all the same choices I put in there, that would only leave me with 2 options, A or C. That already knocks off B and D because they don't have the correct y-intercepts. So A has a slope of negative 3/2, and C has a slope of positive 3/2. You didn't even have to calculate slope. All you had to do was say, if this is me and I'm running, I'm going uphill, meaning I'm going to have a positive slope. Answer of C. C. Y equals 3/2 x plus 4. Cool? But if you had wanted to, you could have calculated slope by finding another nice point and then realizing you had to go up 3, right 2, which again is positive 3 over 2. And the last one was more fun. I gave you 3x minus 8y equals 24, and I asked you to write that in slope-intercept form, aka solve for y. Subtract 3x, negative 8y equals negative 3x plus 24. Remember, not like terms. and then I divide by -8. And I get y equals, well, -3 times, or divided by -8. The only thing I can do there is say two negatives will make a positive. And then 24 divided by -8 is a -3. This was my answer, which yours probably mixed up the answers. So I don't know if this was A, B, C, or D for you, and it would have been different depending on which student took it, because I had it mix up all the answers. But the answers would have been y equals 3/8 x minus 3. That's it.